Okay, welcome back. Starting on the, finishing the Corsair. It's been dragging on as this one a little bit. I did change it, you might notice. When I originally designed, thought about building this model, I thought I'm going to do it wings folded. And I decided I didn't like it. And the reason for that is, when you look at it from certain angles, it completely covers up the cockpit area. And it kind of spoils the look of the aeroplane. I wish I'd have thought about this when I did this. But as a compromise, what I've done, I took a very big risk. The wings just plug onto there. What I had to do was break all this mechanism off, and smash it off, break it, drill out that part there and get this part of the wing, put it into this side and then fit it into this wing. It was a nightmare. I wouldn't recommend anybody do this. I thought I was going to destroy it doing it actually, but I think I might have got away with it. I had to sand it, fill it, blah blah blah. I've lost quite a bit of detail on that area, but you can't really tell. It's not too bad. I'm happy with it. Well, I've no choice. But it's alright. I mean, I think I've got away with it. It's certainly alright. So yeah, one wing down, one wing up. And if I were going to do it again, I'd just do them both down. I wouldn't bother messing about folding them. It's nice to see it folded, but I do like the shape of the wings. It's quite unique for this aircraft. But anyway, moving on from that, got that bit done. It's had quite a few more coats of varnish actually. It does need polishing back up again. It's all dusty and messy. This is all fitted now. All the cowling area and stuff's fitted on there. It needs a propeller putting on there. I need to do the canopy and the rear screen. And the finishing off the decals. But I have, to save a bit of time, and I know I don't think time's necessary in this, but when that wing's folded you can hardly see this, so I've used the decal for that part there, and I may do that for the actual arrows as well, see how they look. If they don't look right, I'll just paint them on. I'm going to have to paint them on the fin because I've destroyed that one trying to get it to work, so I might paint those arrows, and I don't know, they're not difficult to mask out, those. Yeah, it needs the fin putting on there. All the doors are on now. The doors, anybody building this model, just be careful when you build it, because all these things fit. They do fit lovely and everything, but the contact points for glue is quite scale. You know, you don't have a right lot of places to put the glue and stuff, so they're quite fragile when you put them on. So just be mindful of that when you do fit them. I've broken these off twice now. That's because I'm trying to polish the thing while they're in place, and it's rather difficult. I've used a new product, so it's not new to most people, but I've used a Flory product. It's called Flory Wash. I'm sure people know about it. I've used a grey just to kind of pick out the detail in the rivets. You basically just blather it all over and then wipe it all off again, and it's just picked out the fine detail in the wing, which I quite like. So it needs to, once I've got it all finished, I need to give it a good do again, polish it all up, and I'll give it as I do with that, and that should see that done. So the next job now, I just need to go around the bits that I've missed off really. So I need to get the fin done, I need to get the decal on the wing, then I want to get the canopy, front canopy done, so I'll show that being done. Finish off the detail on the rear slidey canopy part. I need to fit the actuation rods that ended up breaking off again on the tail. Again, quite fragile pieces, but they're easy to put back on. And then I need to do the rockets on the bottom of the wings. After that, oh yes, the propeller. The propeller's got the typical boss in the middle of the spinner. I'm going to make the spinner out of aluminium. I'm going to turn a new one out of aluminium, just because I can. I want to try it and see if it looks any better than a plastic painted one. It shows it as being black on the model, but I think they look quite nice, polished chrome, or polished aluminium, so that's what we're going to do. Okay, I've been looking at this Corsair now. So this kit's now at the, I'll bring it into the interview for a moment, it doesn't really matter, but it's at this stage now where I've been working on this kit a long time now, and it's at this stage where you get a little bit jaded with it, I suppose, and it's if you're not careful you could end up messing it up because you're just bored of it, and you can ruin it by rushing things, and I don't want to do that. So it's a really nice kit. So I'm kind of making a list of all the things that need doing to finish it off, which is quite extensive actually. There's lots of things need doing, which I won't go into at the moment. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to do a bit that I've been wanting to do, just to kind of make it a bit more interesting for myself. So this is a propeller, of course, which is fine. And then you've got the propeller. I don't know what to call this bit. It's not a spinner as such. It's just a. On this one, it's black on this, but on some of the modern aircraft, these are on. You see this on pretty much universally on most World War II aircraft. Even the British aircraft had these bosses on, but they had a spinner over the top on some of them. But I want to make this shiny metal. I want to make it aluminium, so I'm going to replace this plastic one with a metal part. So I'm going to try and film turning one of these in aluminium. So that's the next bit. So I'll see you over at the lathe. Right, okay, here we are at the lathe. This is the stock I'm going to use. It's just a bit of aluminium rod. Obviously it's considerably bigger than this, so the first thing I need to do is turn this down to an appropriate size. I have to use what stock I've got available, and this is what I have at the minute, so that's what we're going to do next. Right, okay, I've got a bit of aluminium stock that I was using on a different job. It's far too thick at this end, but it's too narrow at that end, so I'm just going to trim this down. I measured it, it needs to be 6 point. Let's just do that again. Measure once, cut twice, or is it the other way around? I can't remember. It basically needs to be 7.41 millimeters, I think. Yeah. So I've got quite a lot to take off this, so I'll speed the film up at this point, but I'll just show you what I'm doing. I'm getting there now, so you got to be careful doing this. You can end up taking too much off quite easily, so we're looking at another 1.5 mil or something. There we go, perfect. So, next job, I've made that long enough. Just, oops. Probably wants to be a little bit longer if anything. What I'll have to do in there. Better. Which one's what? Right. It's just long enough to get the parting tool in there, so that'll do. So what I need to do now, I want to create, if I can get it on video, that little dimple at the end. So what I'm going to do is drill the hole, the bigger diameter but not very deep, and then I pile it all down the middle of it, and I'll put a piece of wire in the end of it, and then we'll shape it. In fact, shall I shape it first? I don't know. Let's drill the hole first, so we don't need that bit there. Back in a minute. Okay, 0.5 millimeter drill bit. You've got to be very, very careful with these small drill bits as they snap off. As this lathe is okay, but it's not a perfect lathe, it's got tolerance issues, so if the tailstock's not quite straight, the drill could go in a slightly funny angle, and if you've got very thin drill bits and they're not straight, they can just snap off in a heartbeat. Okay, I've got a 1.4 drill bit there. I'm just going to put a shallow dent in the end of it, and then we'll put a piece of wire in the end to create the nut shape. That's all it needs. I don't need that anymore. Now what we're doing now is kind of creating the dome on the end. And to do that, to do it with the lathe itself, I don't know how to do it. Not doing it not accurately, because you'd end up getting like a stagger on it. I could take a part of it off. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do it old school. That looks something like that. I just need to polish it up a little bit more. There we are, pretty shiny that. Just need to check the diameter of that little dent at the end. I think it looks okay. So, just have to find a piece of appropriate wire to put down the hole. So what I need to do now is polish it some more, because I like doing that. Yeah, I think that's pretty shiny now. But, so yeah, I need to part it off now, so I need to find the original bit and then work out where to do it. So at the moment I'm just going to change the tool. Okay, we've got the parting off tool in there. It's just a very thin blade. Again, you've got to be careful with these things, because it's quite fragile, because it's quite thin, but it does a nice cut, does this. Okay, I just had to turn down the rest of this piece of metal, because that blade's got a taper on it and it was starting to bend it. So I've done that now. I don't want to push my luck on that. And there we are. That's the bit we've just made. So it just needs fire polishing off at the back, and then I can just where's it gone? I'll take the plastic off and I'll just glue that straight onto there when it's finished. Okay, there we are. That's the I don't know, Boss hub, whatever you call it, spinner. I glued it on with a bit of super glue gel. I've glued it on now before painting, because I want to make sure I got a good bond on it. I'll just mask it off when I paint it. Obviously that's the original one. There's not a lot in it really, is there? But it just looks like, I quite like doing it because that looks like metal, which it obviously is. But yeah, it's just a little bit of something in it to make it a little bit different. So the next job is just to paint this black, so satin black, and then it has decals for the yellow tips. And then it has decals on for the manufacture of the blades themselves. So I'll get that bit done, and then we'll get that on the model. Okay, quick coat of primer. Did highlight a few little seam lines that I missed, so right, I'll give it a coat of black now. Okay, got a semi-gloss. Now we're going to stick a coat of gloss on top of it because I want to ensure that the decals on the tips, if they're going to work, that is, and the decals for the blade identification on manufacturers stick well. So I know there's an argument about that, but I'm not bothering risking it because I know they'll definitely work alright if you paint it with gloss first. Right, okay, as suspected, I didn't like the decals. They basically only covered the front face and they were slightly too big, so they didn't, I don't like them. Anyway, well, you may notice I've painted the tips yellow. I had to repaint the I reprimed it, repainted them yellow. I put a tiny little mark on there. That's a 5mm mark. I'm just masking the tips off like so. Try and get them straight. So I'll just do one at a time like that. Don't have to mark the backs off because I'll just line the tape up with the other piece. Oh, there we go. Took a bit of doing, did that. I had to paint it twice. And so yeah, I'm quite happy with that result. That's the propeller done. One more job to tick off the list. Quite happy with the aluminium spinner. I think it sets it off nicely, does that. I still have to put a little pin in the end, but it's alright as that for now. Right, I'm just going through all the extensive decals now that I need to apply to this kit. It's quite a lot actually. I decided to I bought some, this is a blank decal sheet, just basically white decal that you can cut out your own shapes and stuff. I got it from a company called, hope you can read that, it says Fantasy Print Shop. Got it off eBay. Really impressed with it. I thought I'd give it a shot before I painted these on, and I made the arrows out of this stuff, and I'm going to keep it. I like it. It certainly behaves nicer than the Tamiya stuff, so that saved me a little bit of messing about really. So that's that done. So that's all the arrows are done now. I need to put one on the bottom of this wing actually. It needs to go on that wing there. I'll do that in a bit. So I'm just going through all the other ones now, putting all the little sidewalk things on and all the other stuff like this. They're hard work, I've got to say. Putting them on is difficult because the Tamiya decals, and I hate them. I just don't like them at all. You got to kind of put them on, let them dry out a little bit, and then absolutely soak them to death in Microsoft to get them to conform to anything. Anyway, we're getting there, but it's just a slow process and certainly not worthy of being filmed, so I'll just keep banging away at that really. I am seeing a bit of light at the end of the tunnel with this build now though. It's coming on. I think once the calipers on and the decals are done, the only thing left then is to do the basically the rockets under the wings, I think. So yeah, I'm getting quietly pleased about getting this thing finished. It's not that I don't like the model, I'm kind of keen to get on with something new. And I don't like working on models, I don't know about you, but when they get to this point they become so fragile, just touching them, picking them up, and that is just risk breaking things all the time. But yeah, that's just the way it is, isn't it, I guess. But yeah, it's coming on. Correction, talking rubbish about the star, that the actual arrow goes on this wing actually. It needs a decal of a star on the bottom of that, so that's what we'll do. Okay, I'm kind of conscious this build's going to take longer than I originally expected, and I don't want to rush it just to get the video out. So this video is basically about building this spinner really, and just a little bit of decaling that I've done. So we'll call it a day at that one for now, and we'll part 3 coming up soon, I hope. So yeah, this is the I'll show up some stills now of of a front end. I'm really pleased with it actually, it's come out nice. I'm really happy that that spinner's come out as well as it did. So there we go.